I never thought I'd end up here, sitting alone in a cramped, moldy studio apartment in Seattle, my phone screen cracked, my inbox empty, my life a mess I can't fix, my dreams shattered like the glass on the floor I haven't swept in weeks. My name's Leah, I'm 27, and just a few months ago, I thought I had it all figured out. A boyfriend who shared my values, a tight-knit circle of activist friends, a purpose that made me feel alive, a fire in my chest that burned for justice, for change, for a better world. But I threw it all away with one stupid plan, a plan I thought would make my life better. A plan that backfired so hard I'm now broke, alone, and watching my ex become a conservative influencer, while I'm left with nothing but regret, shame, and a hollow ache I can't escape. I met Kyle 2 years ago at a climate protest in downtown Seattle, the kind of rainy day where the air smelled like wet pavement and determination. The kind of day that felt electric with possibility, with hope, with the promise of something bigger. He was 29, tall with a scruffy beard, wearing a tie-dye shirt with a defund the police pin, his voice loud as he chanted through a megaphone, his passion a magnet I couldn't resist, his energy a flame that drew me in like a moth. I was there with my friends, holding a sign that read "System Change, not Climate Change." My hair dyed purple, my boots muddy from marching, my heart racing with the thrill of fighting for something bigger than myself, my voice hoarse from shouting, my spirit alive with purpose. Kyle caught my eye when he handed me a flyer for a mutual aid group, his smile warm, his eyes bright with conviction, his energy infectious, his words a spark that lit something inside me. We started talking, our shared ideals a spark that turned into late-night debates over cheap coffee at a 24-hour diner. Our first date a rally against corporate greed where we held hands in the crowd. Our connection growing stronger with every protest we attended together, every petition we signed, every cause we fought for side by side. I'd look at him sometimes, his profile lit by the glow of a campfire at an Occupy event, his hands busy tying a bandana around his neck, and feel a rush of pride, a rush of love, a rush I thought would last forever, a rush that made me feel like we were unstoppable, like we could change the world together. We moved in together a year later, a tiny apartment in Capitol Hill, the kind of place with creaky floors, a leaky faucet, and a window that wouldn't close properly, letting in the damp Seattle air, but it was ours, and that made it feel like home, a sanctuary for our shared dreams. We spent evenings planning our next protest, his hands quick as he painted signs with slogans like "Eat the Rich," my voice loud as I read aloud articles about systemic inequality, our laughter mixing with the sound of the city outside, the honking cars and distant sirens a soundtrack to our rebellion. Kyle was the perfect partner in activism, his dedication to the cause a mirror of my own, his ideals so pure I sometimes felt like I couldn't keep up, his commitment a challenge I both admired and resented. We'd dream about the future, his voice low as he talked about building a commune where we'd live off the grid, my eyes bright as I imagined a world where we'd finally win. A world where justice wasn't just a slogan, a world where we could be a real team, a power couple for the revolution, a force to be reckoned with. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed, not for me, not deep down, not when the reality of our life started to weigh on me like a stone I couldn't lift. Kyle's wokeness started to grate on me, his ideals so extreme they made our lives harder than they needed to be, his principles a chain that kept us tethered to struggle. He refused to work for any company he deemed capitalistic, which meant pretty much everywhere, leaving us to scrape by on my part-time job at a vegan cafe and whatever donations we could get from mutual aid, our bank account a constant source of stress, our meals often just rice and beans, our dreams overshadowed by the reality of survival. We'd argue about it constantly, my voice sharp as I begged him to get a real job, his tone stubborn as he said, "I'm not selling out, Leah, you know that's not who I am." His words a mantra I grew to hate, a mantra that kept us broke, a mantra that kept us stuck. I'd roll my eyes, my patience thin, my frustration growing with every late rent notice, every empty fridge, every night we went to bed hungry, every time I had to borrow money from friends just to keep the lights on. I'd look at him, his face buried in another book about anarchism, his glasses slipping down his nose, and feel a wave of resentment, a wave of exhaustion, a wave of anger I couldn't shake. A wave that made me question if I could keep doing this, if I could keep loving him, if I could keep pretending I was okay with this life. I started to fantasize about a different Kyle. A Kyle who'd still care about the cause but be more practical, more grounded, more like the partner I needed him to be. A Kyle who could balance his ideals with reality, who could help me build a life that didn't feel like a constant struggle. I'd imagine him in a button-up shirt, working a 9 to 5, coming home with a paycheck we could actually live on, his ideals softened just enough to make our lives easier, his passion redirected into something that wouldn't leave us destitute. I'd tell myself it wasn't a betrayal, that I was doing this for us, that I could change him without breaking him, that I could make him see reason, that I could save us from the brink, that I could make him the man I needed him to be. I'd lie awake at night, the sound of his snoring a reminder of the life I wanted to escape, the life I wanted to fix, the life I thought I could control, the moonlight streaming through our broken window, casting shadows on the walls, shadows that felt like omens I ignored. I'd think about my friends, their stable relationships, their comfortable apartments, their ability to pay bills without stress, their Instagram posts of cozy brunches and weekend getaways, and feel a pang of jealousy, a pang of longing, a pang I couldn't ignore, a pang that fueled my determination, a pang that made me believe I deserved better, a pang that made me blind to the consequences. So I made a plan I thought was foolproof, a plan I thought would save us, a plan I thought would give me the life I wanted, the life I deserved, the life I was willing to fight for, no matter the cost. I'd change Kyle, mold him into the man I needed him to be, using every trick I knew to get him there, every tool in my arsenal, every ounce of my cunning. I'd use my words, my emotions, my body. Whatever it took to make him see things my way, to make him bend to my will, to make him mine in a way I could control, in a way that would make our lives easier, in a way that would make me happy, even if it meant breaking him in the process. I'd seduce him into submission, manipulate him into practicality, convince him that a little compromise wouldn't hurt, that he could still be a good activist while being a good partner, that he could still fight for justice while fighting for us. I'd tell myself I was doing it for love, for our future, for the life we deserved, but deep down, I knew it was more than that. Knew it was about control, knew it was about me getting what I wanted, no matter the cost, knew it was about my own selfishness, my own desperation, my own inability to accept him as he was. I'd look in the mirror some mornings, my eyes tired, my hair a mess, my resolve hardening, my reflection a stranger I didn't recognize. A girl who used to fight for justice. A girl who used to believe in equality. A girl who was about to cross a line she couldn't come back from. A girl who was about to set fire to everything she loved. A girl who was too blind to see the flames. It was a chilly October evening in Seattle, the kind of night where the air felt heavy with rain, the kind of night that made me feel restless, like something had to change, like the world was holding its breath, waiting for me to make my move. Kyle was in the living room, scrolling through his phone, probably reading another thread about corporate corruption, his brow furrowed, his idealism a wall I couldn't break through, his focus a barrier I was determined to shatter. I was in the kitchen, washing dishes, my hands moving on autopilot, my mind racing with the plan I'd been perfecting for weeks, a plan I was ready to put into action, a plan I'd rehearsed in my head 1,000 times, a plan I thought would fix everything. I dried my hands, took a deep breath, and walked into the living room, my movements deliberate, my smile calculated, my voice soft but firm, my heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and fear. "Kyle, we need to talk," I said, sitting down beside him, my hand resting on his thigh, my touch a weapon I knew how to use, a weapon I'd sharpened for this moment, a weapon I wasn't afraid to wield. He looked up, his expression a mix of curiosity and concern, his phone dropping to his lap, his attention mine, his trust in me a vulnerability I was about to exploit, a vulnerability I'd counted on. "What's up, babe?" he asked, his voice gentle, his eyes searching mine, his warmth a contrast to the coldness of my intentions, his innocence a canvas I was about to paint with my agenda. I leaned in closer, my tone low, my words carefully chosen, my plan unfolding with every syllable, my breath warm against his skin, my presence a trap he didn't see coming. "I'm worried about us," I said, my voice trembling just enough to sell the lie, my eyes glistening with fake tears, my performance a masterpiece of manipulation. "We can't keep living like this, barely making rent, always stressed, always fighting, always on the edge of collapse. I love you, but I need you to meet me halfway. I need you to get a job, a real job, something that'll help us build a future, something that'll let us breathe, something that'll let us live. I'm not asking you to give up your values, just to be practical, for us, for me, for the life we could have if you just try." Kyle's face fell, his shoulders tensing, his ideals clashing with my words, his resistance a wall I'd expected, a wall I was prepared to tear down, a wall I wouldn't let stand in my way. "Leah, you know I can't do that," he said, his voice firm, his hands clenching into fists, his conviction unshaken, his eyes flashing with the fire of his beliefs, his stubbornness a challenge I was ready to meet. "Working for some soulless corporation goes against everything I stand for." I thought you understood that. I thought we were on the same page, that we shared the same vision, that we were fighting the same fight. I felt a surge of frustration, my patience wearing thin, my plan hitting its first obstacle, but I didn't back down, didn't let his words deter me, didn't let his ideals stop me. I doubled down, my voice sharper now, my emotions a weapon I wielded with precision, my anger a tool I used to chip away at his resolve. "We're not on the same page, Kyle," I snapped, my tone cutting, my words a dagger I couldn't take back, my frustration spilling over, my desperation a fire I couldn't control. "I'm the one working my ass off while you sit here preaching about the system, while you let me carry the weight of our survival, while you let me drown in stress. I'm tired of carrying us, tired of being the only one who cares about our survival, tired of pretending I'm okay with this. If you loved me, you'd do this for me, you'd compromise, just a little, just enough to make this work, just enough to show me you care. Or maybe you don't love me enough. Maybe I should just leave, find someone who will actually step up, find someone who will actually fight for us." His eyes widened, the threat of me leaving a blow he hadn't seen coming, a blow I knew would hit hard, a blow I'd planned to deliver, a blow that made his hands tremble, his breath catch, his resolve waver. I saw the doubt flicker in his gaze, the crack in his armor I'd been waiting for, the opening I needed to push harder, the moment I'd been waiting for, the moment I seized with both hands. I softened my approach, my hand sliding up his thigh, my voice dropping to a whisper, my body a tool I wasn't afraid to use, my touch a promise I knew he couldn't resist, a promise I knew would break him. "I don't want to leave, Kyle," I murmured, my lips brushing his ear, my breath hot against his skin, my hands roaming, my seduction a calculated move to break his resolve, to bend him to my will, to make him mine in a way I could control. "I love you, I want us to work. Just try it for me. Get a job just for a little while and I'll make it worth your while. I'll show you how much I appreciate it, how much I need you, how much I want you, how much I'll reward you, how much I'll love you for it." I kissed him then, my lips hungry, my hands roaming, my body pressed against his, my seduction a calculated move to break his resolve, to bend him to my will, to make him mine in a way I could control, to make him forget his ideals, to make him forget everything but me. It worked, at least at first. Kyle gave in that night, his resistance melting under my touch, his ideals pushed aside for the promise of my affection, my approval, my love, his body responding to mine, his mind clouded by desire, his principles forgotten in the heat of the moment. He applied for a job the next day, a basic office gig at a tech startup, the kind of place he'd once called a cog in the capitalist machine, but now saw as a necessary evil, a compromise for the sake of our relationship, a compromise I'd forced him into, a compromise I thought I'd won. I felt a rush of triumph, a rush of power, a rush I couldn't get enough of, a rush that made me feel invincible, a rush that made me blind to the consequences. I'd done it, I'd changed him, molded him, made him into the man I wanted him to be, or so I thought, my ego soaring, my control absolute, my victory sweet. I'd watch him leave for work each morning, his tie crooked, his expression conflicted, his steps heavy with the weight of his compromise, and feel a smug satisfaction, a belief that I'd won, a belief that I was in control, a belief that I'd finally gotten what I wanted, a belief that made me careless, a belief that made me blind. But I didn't see the bigger picture, didn't see the storm I'd set in motion, didn't see the way Kyle was changing in ways I hadn't planned, didn't see the seeds I'd planted growing into something I couldn't control, didn't see the monster I'd created. He started spending more time online, his phone a constant companion, his conversations shifting from mutual aid to something else entirely, his eyes glued to the screen, his mind drifting to places I couldn't follow. I'd catch him watching videos late at night, the sound of conservative podcasters filling our apartment, their voices a stark contrast to the ones we used to listen to, their ideas a poison I didn't recognize at first, their words a siren song he couldn't resist. He'd talk about personal responsibility and traditional values, words that sounded foreign coming from his mouth, words that made my stomach churn, words I tried to ignore, words that made me question what I'd done, words that made me fear I'd gone too far. I'd tell myself it was a phase, that he'd come back to his senses, that I could still control him, still fix him, still make him the man I wanted him to be, still salvage the life I'd envisioned, still hold onto the dream I'd fought for. I was wrong, so wrong, and I didn't even know it yet, didn't see the tidal wave coming, didn't see the way my world was about to crumble, didn't see the way I'd lose everything I thought I could control, everything I thought I deserved, everything I thought I'd won. The weeks after Kyle got that job felt like a victory at first, each paycheck a validation of my plan, each compromise a sign I'd won, each dollar a step toward the life I'd dreamed of, a life I thought I'd secured. But victories are fleeting when you're playing with fire, and I'd lit a match I couldn't put out, a fire that would burn hotter and faster than I could have imagined, a fire that would consume everything I held dear, a fire I'd started with my own hands. Kyle wasn't just changing in the ways I wanted. He was changing in ways I couldn't control, ways I couldn't predict, ways that would turn my life into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from, a nightmare I'd created, a nightmare I couldn't escape. It started small, subtle shifts I didn't notice at first, shifts that crept in like shadows I couldn't see, shifts that grew into something I couldn't ignore. Kyle stopped going to protests, his excuses vague, his energy focused elsewhere, his passion for the cause fatting like a flame without oxygen, his absence a void I didn't know how to fill. He'd spend hours on his phone, his earbuds in, his expression intense as he watched videos I didn't recognize, videos with titles like "The Truth About Woke Culture" and "Why the Left is Wrong," videos that filled his mind with ideas I couldn't comprehend, ideas I couldn't fight, ideas I couldn't stop. I'd catch snippets of the audio, the voices of conservative influencers railing against everything we once stood for, their words a poison that seeped into Kyle's mind, a poison I'd unknowingly helped him drink, a poison that changed him in ways I never expected, a poison that turned him into someone I didn't recognize. He'd start arguments with me, his tone sharp, his ideals shifting, his words a mirror of the ones I'd heard online, his voice a stranger's, his beliefs a betrayal. "Maybe the system isn't the problem, Leah," he'd say, his voice cold, his eyes hard, his new beliefs a wall between us, his words a knife to my heart, his transformation a slap in the face. "Maybe it's people like us, always complaining, never taking responsibility, always blaming everyone else for our problems. I'm starting to see things differently. Maybe you should too, maybe you should open your eyes, maybe you should stop being so blind." I felt a surge of panic, my control slipping, my plan backfiring in ways I hadn't imagined, my world crumbling beneath my feet, my heart racing with a fear I couldn't name. I tried to pull him back, my voice desperate, my arguments weak, my power over him fatting with every word, my hands shaking as I reached for him, my eyes pleading for the man I'd loved. "This isn't you, Kyle," I'd plead, my hands on his shoulders, my eyes searching his, my fear a weight I couldn't shake, my voice cracking with emotion, my desperation a noose around my neck. "You're not one of them, you're better than this, you're the man I fell in love with, the man who fought for justice, the man who stood by my side. We're better than this, we're a team, we're supposed to change the world together. Don't let them brainwash you, Don't let them take you from me. Don't let them destroy us. But Kyle was already gone, his mind made up, his transformation complete, his new identity a slap in the face to everything we'd built, his eyes cold as he looked at me, his heart closed to the girl I used to be, his love for me a memory I couldn't reclaim. He started posting online, his videos a mix of rants and red pill rhetoric, his follower count growing with every upload, his new persona a hit with an audience I didn't understand, an audience that loved him for all the reasons I hated him now, an audience that cheered him on as he tore down everything we once stood for, an audience that made him a star while I faded into the background. Within months, Kyle was a full-blown conservative influencer. His videos racking up thousands of views, his bank account growing, his life a stark contrast to the one we'd shared, his success a mirror to my failure, his rise a reminder of my fall. He moved out of our tiny apartment, his new income enough to afford a sleek condo downtown, his new friends a mix of right-wing podcasters and crypto bros, his new girlfriend a blonde fitness influencer who called herself a trad wife. Her Instagram full of posts about submission and homemaking, her presence a dagger to my heart, her perfection a contrast to my ruin. He left me behind, his goodbye a cold, calculated blow I didn't see coming, his words a final nail in the coffin of our love, a coffin I'd built with my own hands. "You're toxic, Leah," he said, his voice flat, his eyes empty, his words a dagger to my heart, his judgment a weight I couldn't carry, his rejection a wound that wouldn't heal. "You tried to control me, to change me, and you did, but not the way you wanted. I see you for what you are now, and I don't want you in my life. You're a manipulator, a hypocrite, a failure, a liar, a fraud, a shell of the girl I thought I loved. I'm done, I'm moving on, I'm better off without you." He walked out that day, his belongings packed into a single suitcase, his steps confident, his future bright, his success a mirror to my failure, his new life a dream I'd never live, a dream I'd destroyed with my own hands. I tried to hold it together, tried to pretend I could move on, but the fallout was swift and brutal, a storm I couldn't weather, a storm I'd brought on myself, a storm that left me with nothing. My activist friends found out about my role in Kyle's transformation, their judgment a weight I couldn't escape, their rejection a wound that wouldn't heal, their anger a fire I couldn't extinguish. "You turned him into a monster, Leah," one friend said, her voice cold, her eyes hard, her door closing in my face, her words a reminder of the reputation I'd earned, her betrayal a scar I'd carry forever, her absence a void I couldn't fill. They cut me off, their group chats silent, their protests off limits, their friendship a memory I couldn't reclaim, their laughter a sound I'd never hear again, their support a lifeline I'd severed with my own hands. I lost my job at the vegan cafe, the owner citing negative publicity, after Kyle mentioned me in one of his videos, calling me out as the woke girlfriend who tried to ruin him. His followers flooding the cafe's reviews with hate, their anger a storm I couldn't weather, their words a mirror to my shame, their judgment a weight I couldn't bear. I couldn't afford our apartment on my own, my savings non-existent, my pride too broken to ask for help, my options running out faster than I could think, my life spiraling out of control, my future a void I couldn't face. I got evicted a month later, my belongings thrown onto the sidewalk, my tears falling as I packed what I could into a duffel bag, my life a mess I couldn't fix, my heart breaking with every item I left behind, my dreams scattered like the papers on the ground. I moved into a moldy studio on the outskirts of Seattle, the kind of place with stained walls, a broken heater, and a mattress that smelled like mildew, the kind of place that smelled like despair, the kind of place I never thought I'd end up, the kind of place that felt like a prison, the kind of place that felt like the end. I'd sit on the floor at night, the city lights a distant glow, the cold seeping into my bones, my tears falling silently as I scrolled through Kyle's videos, his success a knife to my heart, his new life a reminder of everything I'd lost, everything I'd destroyed, everything I'd never get back, everything I'd thrown away for a plan that failed, a plan that ruined me, a plan that left me with nothing but regret. I'd look at myself in the cracked mirror, my eyes hollow, my hair faded, my spirit broken, my reflection a stranger I didn't recognize. A girl who used to fight for justice. A girl who used to believe in love. A girl who thought she could control everything. A girl who'd lost it all because of her own selfish choices. A girl who'd never be the same again. A girl who'd never forgive herself. A girl who'd never escape the shadow of her own mistakes. I've been in this moldy studio for 2 weeks now, my body aching from the cold, my heart heavy with the weight of my choices, my mind a storm of regret and resentment. A storm I can't escape, a storm I created, a storm that rages inside me with no end in sight. I sit on the floor, my back against the wall, my phone in my hand, Kyle's latest video playing on a loop, his voice a reminder of the life I thought I could control. A life that slipped through my fingers like sand, a life that's now a distant memory, a life I'll never get back. He's got 50,000 followers now, his condo a showcase of his success, his new girlfriend a perfect match for his new persona, his life a dream I'll never live, a dream I destroyed with my own hands, a dream that haunts me every time I close my eyes, a dream that taunts me with what could have been. A dream that reminds me of everything I've lost. I think about Kyle constantly, his smile, his touch, the way he'd loved me, the way he'd believed in me, a love I'd taken for granted, a love I'd lost forever, a love I'll never feel again, a love I didn't deserve. I think about the night I started this, the night I thought I could change him, the night that changed everything, a night I can't take back, a night that cost me everything, a night that replays in my mind like a broken record, a night that fills me with shame, a night that fills me with regret. I think about my friends, their laughter, their support, the community I'd been a part of, a community I threw away for a plan that backfired, a plan that left me with nothing, a plan that left me alone, a plan that left me isolated, a plan that left me broken, a plan that left me with nothing but the echoes of their voices, voices I'll never hear again. I think about the life I had, the protests, the purpose, the love, a life I ruined for a moment of control, a moment I thought I could handle, a moment that came back to haunt me in the worst way possible, a moment that defined my downfall, a moment that defined my failure, a moment that defined my loss. But instead of owning my mistakes, I let resentment take over, a bitter shield against the guilt I can't face, a shield I cling to, a shield that keeps me from breaking completely, a shield that keeps me from facing the truth. If Kyle had just listened to me, I wouldn't be here. I mutter to myself, my voice low, my eyes fixed on the floor, the stains a map of my fractured life, the cracks a mirror to my broken soul, the dirt a reminder of my fall. He should have stayed the same, should have loved me enough to fight for us, should have seen that I was trying to help us, should have seen that I was trying to save us, should have seen that I was doing it for us. He's the one who changed, who left me, who turned into someone I don't even recognize, who betrayed everything we stood for, who abandoned me when I needed him most. And my friends, they're supposed to be there for me, not judge me, not abandon me when I need them most, not turn their backs on me when I'm at my lowest, not leave me to drown in my own mistakes, not leave me to face this alone. They're the ones who failed me, not the other way around. They're the ones who let me down. They're the ones who broke my heart. I ignore the irony of my words, the selfishness in my logic, the truth that I'd been the one to manipulate, the one to betray, the one to destroy everything I had. A truth I can't face, a truth I won't face, a truth I'd rather bury under a pile of blame, a blame I throw at everyone but myself, a blame that lets me pretend I'm the victim, a blame that lets me avoid the mirror I'm too afraid to face, a blame that keeps me from admitting that I'm the one who ruined everything, that I'm the one who deserves this, that I'm the one who's to blame, that I'm the one who set this fire, that I'm the one who let it burn. I decide to fight back, my anger fueling a new plan, a plan to reclaim what I've lost, to prove that I'm not the villain, that I deserve a second chance, even if it means more chaos, even if it means more pain, even if it means dragging everyone down with me, even if it means destroying what little I have left, even if it means losing myself completely. I pull out my phone, my hands shaking from the cold, my battery at 10%, my mind set on a post. A post meant to hurt, to expose, to pull Kyle back into my life, to make him pay for my pain, to make him feel the weight of my suffering, to make him see what he's done to me. You can't just walk away, Kyle. I type, my tone calculated, my words a mix of desperation and defiance, my fingers trembling as I pour my anger into every letter, my heart racing with a mix of fear and determination. I made you who you are. I pushed you to get that job, to change, to grow, to become the man you are today. You owe me for your success, for your new life, for everything you have now, for the followers, for the money, for the fame. I'm going to tell everyone the truth, tell them how you used me, how you abandoned me, how you're a fraud who doesn't deserve his followers, how you're a liar who built his empire on my pain, how you're a coward who left me to rot. I'll post it online, tell your sponsors, tell your new girlfriend, make sure everyone knows what you did to me, what you did to us, make sure they see the real you, make sure they see the monster you've become. I'll make sure your life falls apart like mine did, make sure you feel the pain I feel, make sure you can't move on while I'm stuck here suffering, make sure you pay for what you've done, make sure you never forget me. Don't make me do this, don't make me destroy you, don't make me show the world who you really are. I hit post, a cold determination settling in my chest, a belief that I'm right, that I deserve this, that I can rewrite our story to make myself the victim and him the villain, a belief that I can use his success to pull myself out of this hole I've dug, a belief that I'm entitled to his guilt, his help, his life, because I can't face the reality of my own mistakes, because I can't admit that I'm the one who destroyed everything, because I need to believe I'm still worth saving. Because I can't bear the thought that I've lost him forever due to my own selfish choices. Because I refuse to accept that I alone am to blame for my downfall. Because I refuse to see the truth staring me in the face. Because I refuse to let go of the anger that keeps me alive. I set my phone down, my heart racing, my mind already imagining the fallout, my hope a fragile thing I cling to, a hope that he'll see my post, that he'll feel something, that he'll come back to save me, a hope I don't deserve, a hope I can't let go, a hope that feels like my last lifeline, a hope that keeps me from breaking completely, a hope that might be my final undoing. But deep down, I know the truth. I've burned that bridge, and no amount of manipulation can rebuild it. No amount of words can erase the hurt I've caused. No amount of regret can bring him back. No amount of anger can change the past. No amount of blame can absolve me of my sins. I'm alone, and I have no one to blame but myself, a truth I'm not ready to face, a truth I'll keep running from, a truth that will haunt me long after the screen goes dark, a truth that will follow me into the darkness, a truth that will never let me go.